People who have been to China, do you have any stories like China? What the hell? Once, I stumbled upon a Shanghai marriage market. Imagine hundreds of elderly parents, flyers with photos of their unmarried children, and their resumes. Everyone is rushing around like on a stock exchange, desperately searching for a good deal. I was traveling with a group in China right before the Beijing Olympics. I'm black, almost 190 centimeters tall, and according to our guide, black people in China are rarer than hen's teeth. Important for the story. On the day we went to the Great Wall, I accidentally wore an NFL t-shirt, American football FYI. Apparently being tall, black, and in sportswear was enough for some Chinese people to assume I was a professional athlete. We arrived at the wall and started climbing. It's way steeper than it looks, by the way. Some sections are a real pain. Suddenly, I was practically ambushed by a crowd of Chinese tourists who wanted to take photos with me. I'm usually a pretty reserved introvert, but once the crowd grew, I just gave in and went along with it. I smiled, took photos, signed autographs like some kind of celebrity, but in the end, I was asked to leave because the crowd of fans blocked the entire walkway on the wall. A similar thing happened again a couple of weeks later in Shanghai. I was walking through the airport in sunglasses and a backpack, and a few people decided I was Kanye West. The same thing happened to my friend's father in China. He's a big guy with a belly, and when he visited the wall, locals started rubbing his stomach like it was a good luck charm. I'm standing in line at an ATM. Like a normal American, I keep about 1.5 meters distance. Like suddenly some dude walks up and stands right behind the guy at the ATM, then another one, and another, packed tight, ass to ass, like sardines. Now I'm 6th in this line. My friend once went to China with her family and told this story. They were sitting in a cafe during the day, just watching the road through the window. Suddenly, a driver hit a cyclist who fell to the ground. Chaos erupted immediately. A crowd gathered, grabbed the driver. Meanwhile, the cyclist got into the driver's car and ran over the driver's leg while bystanders held him down. Then the cyclist got out, thanked the spectators, and calmly rode away. The driver, whose leg had just been run over, limped to his car and silently drove off too. I lived in China for 2 years. I'm just an average white American. On my first visit to a public restroom, I'm standing at the urinal when some guy leans over to examine my equipment, then looks me in the eyes, smiles, and gives me a thumbs up. Sitting near the subway in Guangzhou waiting for a friend. A man approaches. "Can I take photo with you?" "Sure," I say. After one photo, a whole line forms behind him. Saw something I'd never witnessed before. A mother holding her pantsless toddler over a trash can. The kid does his business right into it. She casually wipes him and they walk away. At the university where I taught, after heavy rain, there was used toilet paper everywhere because they have just one drainage system for everything, both rainwater and sewage. You know, in some backwater town, I decided to get a haircut since my hair had grown noticeably long. The barber refused to cut it. Quote, "I don't like white people. I got tons of stories. China is either wow or what the does every single day. But I'd go back. It's an amazing country. Just crazy amounts." Anyway, here's how it went. I worked as an IT guy at a college in Nanjing. My boss was Chinese, probably still is. He got the position because he was really good at table tennis. Didn't know the first thing about computers, but he pretended he did, you know, to save face, and made the same salary as me. But after a month, he was already driving a BMW and flashing Rolexes, all according to the usual scheme. I was at a temple near Shanghai and suddenly really needed to use the toilet. I'd seen Asian-style toilets before, but this the floor was covered in water. The stench was awful. No walls, no stalls, just 6 to 8 holes in the floor. Toilet paper was just a dream. 2 guys were there. One was reading a newspaper, the other was chatting with 2 friends standing across from him smoking. They were all deep in conversation while one guy squatted and, well, you know. Only the white dude who walked in stood out from the whole scene. My black friend told me how a little Chinese girl ran up to him and licked his arm because her friends told her he was made of chocolate. In China, there are almost no trash cans. Once I saw a woman holding her child while he peed into a bin. And I thought, holy crap, that's actually a trash can. This happened right near the Forbidden City. Same story in Tokyo. At first, my wife and I were shocked. The city is clean, but there are no trash cans anywhere. Turns out, people there are expected to take their trash home with them. Like, it's your problem, not the city's. I was working in Shanghai. My colleagues said, "You have to work weekends because those 2 days off were for New Year's." I laughed. They didn't. Listen to this. I was at a factory in Zhongshan, sitting there, chatting with an engineer through a translator. Then I realized this dude has been casually stroking the hair on my arm for the last half minute. And just calmly, while talking, I look down and burst out laughing. He gets all shy, smiling like a schoolgirl. Both hilarious and cringy. Like, the factory owner calls me Golden Monkey. Whenever she sees me, she runs up, hugs me, squealing, "Yeets, the Golden Monkey has come back!" And by the way, she's quite the MILF. China is something beyond comprehension. In Shenzhen, I saw a woman walking a duck on a leash, edited. Turns out this is normal there, but at the time it seemed wild to me. I used to travel to China frequently for work. Once we were leaving a bus station in Zigong, taking a taxi to the hotel. As soon as we started moving, the driver picked up a Coke. Then they began discussing how much it would cost to get the driver's friend out of the police station. The cop calls his boss, haggles, and wants a cut for himself. Corruption isn't news, but this blatant, right out in the open. Probably because I'm ethnically Chinese, they assumed I was one of them and didn't bother hiding it. I'm just an average American girl, blonde hair, blue eyes, 165 centimeters tall. In Beijing, people kept running up behind me while their friends took photos. I was shocked. What's going on? Later, someone explained these were tourists from rural areas and to them I was exotic. After that, whenever I noticed someone trying to sneak a photo, I'd turn around and offer to take a selfie together. So now, a few dozen villagers in China have pics of us looking like besties hanging out in Beijing. In Beijing, everyone mistook my 14-year-old son for Harry Potter. Sure, he's tall and has really curly hair, but at the time, Deathly Hallows was in theaters and posters were everywhere. People would point at him, shouting, "Harry Potter!"